President Joe Biden is spending his first night in the White House tonight, a day of inaugural celebrations capped off by a massive fireworks show right here in our nation's capital.
President Biden calls this a, quote, winter of peril and significant possibilities with much to repair, restore, and heal, and wasted no time today.
NBC's Alice Barr is at the White House with highlights of the day and the work the president made on his first day in office.
Tonight, a celebration for President Joe Biden. In the time of COVID, a virtual program mixing entertainment with recognition of the solemn challenge facing the new commander-in-chief to unite a country torn apart by a raging pandemic and toxic political divisions.
America's story depends not on any one of us, not on some of us, but on all of us. On we, the people.
Vice President Kamala Harris taking her place in history as the first woman and the first Black and Indian American in that role.
Even in dark times, we not only dream, we do. We not only see what has been, we see what can be.
President Biden wasting no time getting down to work, signing more than a dozen executive orders, ranging from climate change to mask wearing, unveiling a sweeping immigration reform bill, and setting the tone for his administration while swearing in staffers.
Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency and dignity. That's been missing in a big way the last 4 years.
Earlier today, the new president taking the oath of office and vowing to lead all Americans forward together.
We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue.
Standing in the very spot where a violent mob tried to derail democracy at the U.S. Capitol, President Biden directly condemned white supremacy and promised to fight the insidious enemy of misinformation.
To defend the truth and defeat the lies.
Tonight, a new first family settling into the White House after a day of rituals, symbolism, and even some bipartisan unity. President Biden now begins the task of turning his words into action to heal a nation in crisis. Though former President Trump fought this transition and refused to attend the inauguration, he did honor one tradition, leaving a note for his successor. President Biden would not reveal what it said, but called it generous. From the White House, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Thank you, Alice. Democrats now have control of the U.S. Senate. Vice President Kamala Harris swore in 3 new Democratic senators into office just after she took her own oath of office today. The new additions bring a 50-50 split between parties, but Democrats have the majority, with Vice President Harris now able to cast the tie-breaking vote.
President Joe Biden's inaugural address was a message of unity and healing today. And amid recent chaos and threats, the president spoke of the many challenges our country faces and the urgency to end political division in America.
Just days after a riotous mob thought they could use violence to silence the will of the people, to stop the work of our democracy, to drive us from this sacred ground. It did not happen. It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Not ever. Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause, the cause of democracy. The people, the will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.